New Danny Maru sauce dropped, and you know me, I'm a Danny Maru fanboy all the way through. So, what if you're just a normal guy who also just so happens to be getting paid to go on this date with a girl? Because after talking to a friend of yours, he tells you about this app where you get paid for going on dates. And even though you're hesitant, your friend signs you up for it. Though it turns out for the best, since you end up going on a date with this girl and y'all are just having a blast. Well, that's the story of the doujin I have for you today. Let's talk 507681, called Until It Becomes Love. It's from the artist Danny Maru, if you didn't hear me earlier. It's a paid worker sauce, which I mean, it kind of makes sense for that description I gave. So let's just jump right into it. The doujin starts out with a city shot with some guy standing around, checking his phone and waiting. That's when someone walks up asking if he's Akashi, which he eagerly replies. It's this girl introducing herself as Kanbei Arisa and says that she'll be in his care today. He starts stuttering because who wouldn't with such a beautiful woman before them? So he bows saying nice to meet you, and they start to go as we get introduced to the scenario at hand, that he's getting paid to have a date with this woman who wants to have a lot of fun. There's now backstory about how Akashi ended up there, where he's eating, asking about this anekatsu thing. His friend tells him that it's this app where you do compensated dating with older women, the reverse of the papakatsu. His friend goes on saying going on a date with a rich, pretty older woman is just the best, which Akashi says might be good for him since he's good looking. Though his friend says that with Akashi's talking skills and courtesy, women might like him, indirectly dissing his looks though. His friend encourages him to do it and instead opts to sign him up for it since he must be hungry for women and money, saying this might be a chance for him to do it, though Akashi downplays himself, saying as if that'll ever happen and that he won't even get a reply. And yet, this is how it turned out. Someone actually chose him, and such a beautiful woman at that, which he thinks is really his type. Though he zones out thinking about her badonkers, but gets called by her and uses it being his first time as an excuse. She says that it's actually her first time too, and that it's a relief for both of them, and asks for his hand since it's a date and they should do the unforgivable act of hand-holding, which of course he's down for, and they decide to go get some food for now. He debates whether having a fun job like this is alright, and it cuts to him watering at the mouth over spaghetti. She laughs saying he must be hungry and he hasn't eaten since this morning, and she says they should dig in, which he gladly does and thinks it's delicious, and starts scarfing it down, only realizing that he ate a lot after, which she says is fine, and that she likes watching him eat the foods, which is just kind of weird, though that gets him to blush as he continues munching away. But he asks her why she chose him, which she says she didn't put much thought into it, since he did look scary from the picture, but talking to him made him seem like a cute dog, which kind of rattles him. She's about to order a drink and he asks about her work, which gives her this gloomy look, saying she took a paid leave today, which leads to him saying they should put those things behind them and enjoy themselves today, doing what she wants, and that he wants to make this a special day for her, which she laughs and says yeah. He cuts to them at a cat cafe with her petting the cats and asking him if he likes them, which he says yeah, and that he has one at his parents' house, which leads to her making fun of him, saying that he has one even though he looks like a dog, and asks for his hand again, and he thinks that she must have no trouble with men since she's so pretty, but then why does she need the app? Akashi doesn't continue this line of thinking, and as long as he's having fun with her then that's alright, with a note calling him Mr. Stupid. It cuts to later and they're walking, with him saying his contract is almost over, though she asks for an extension, asking if that's okay. He asks if she's okay missing the train, and she says yeah, and that she took paid leave for tomorrow too, getting that same gloomy look, which he realizes this time, and he says he's fine with it, saying he wants her to enjoy this day after all. So she proposes they go to the store and buy beers and drink them at a hotel, which he freaks out about but doesn't hate the idea, which leads to him thinking something else, and it cuts to the hotel with him thinking that they're gonna do that, as she's drinking, being reminded of her uni days. They cheers and he's getting nervous about the sudden development, and she says she had a lot of fun today. She goes on thinking about those cats and wants to keep one to keep her from going lonely, which he asks about, though she doesn't respond and instead switches topics to how the beer tastes, to which she downs one and kisses him, asking how it tastes, but he just stutters, and she asks if he has a girlfriend, which he says not now, and she asks if he ever had one before, which he says he did in high school. She then asks if he's ever done the devil's tango, but he says no, saying that he shouldn't be too greedy since he treasured her. She says I see, and gets on top of him, saying that when it comes to the forbidden dance, that girls always expect the guys to do it and wish for it. I personally cannot confirm or deny this for obvious reasons, but they end up doing it. It cuts to after and they're talking about him being her boyfriend, which she tries to play off as a spur of the moment thing if he doesn't wanna, but he really wants to, since at the start of the date he noticed she looked gloomy and he doesn't know the reason, but she gradually started smiling more naturally and that made him happy. He goes on saying that he may look unreliable since he's young and has no money, but promises that he won't ever make her look sad like today again. She says thanks and that a lot of things in her life have become dull lately and she just didn't care about anything anymore. But when she saw him enjoying the date, it was uplifting and she realized she enjoyed the date too. So for next time, they should have a date as lovers. And they leave to go check out, but he notices something, that she forgot her necklace and she gets gloomy again and he asks what's wrong. She says nah and throws it away, saying it's nothing and they should go. And the dungeon ends. Overall, I rate this an 11 out of 10. I didn't know what to expect going into this, but it completely shattered that expectation, whatever it was. The characters are fun and kind of mysterious, which could set up for a part 2, but I'm happy either way. And don't even get me started on the art, because of course, since it's from the GOAT, you know it's just amazing. I recommend you check it out for yourselves as always. That's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.
Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul. These hentai babes make me drool. Hatsune Miku is great. She makes me masturbate. Fairy tale.